Hello lads, hope you're well. Today I wanted to talk about 4 simple rules that all successful people live by. These are things that if you listen to loads of podcasts or YouTube videos of people that have really made it to the top, if you listen to things like Game Changing Attorney podcast or Diary of a CEO or certain YouTubers who sort of interview high-ranking CEOs or entrepreneurs, these are sort of 4 rules that all of them seems to be a running theme of the things they say, and I just sort of wanted to break it down and put it into more simple terms. The first rule that all successful people go by, and is probably the most important one, is don't be deterred by failure. If you listen to all the people on Stephen Bartlett's podcast and things like that, pretty much all of them can tell a part of the story where something failed, even if it was something small. Sometimes it was something huge, but even if it was just a little thing that happened that really was sort of a massive bump in the road, sort of none of them at that point stopped and gave up. Pretty much every CEO and founder has a story where they've had to overcome some massive adversity, and they said, if I didn't have the mindset of not being deterred by failure, I would have given up then and there, and I wouldn't be where I am today. The second rule that all successful people go by is play to your strengths and hire people that cover your weaknesses. If you talk to a lot of CEOs and everything like that, as much as they're control freaks and everything, and maybe when the business is first starting up, that they'll try and do everything possible, but as soon as they get the chance, they will surround themselves with the best team possible. So many CEOs and founders will rarely take the entire credit themselves because they know that they had to palm certain parts off to people that were more expert in that situation. Prime example, Ben Francis, the guy who founded Gymshark. It talks about where he got to the point where he just couldn't be CEO. He had no idea how to be CEO of a company like this, so he hired a CEO who had run a company that size. Over time he shadowed him, and now he's gone back in as the CEO. But if he'd have been too arrogant to admit that he wasn't strong enough to do it, Gymshark wouldn't be where it is today. And that's also a good point to take in your own career and things like that. If you're really struggling for what to do career-wise, as much as we all have dreams of exactly what we want to do, is that something that actually plays to the strengths that you have? I've mentioned before on this, I'd love to have been a lawyer or an investment banker or something like that, but I'm terrible at reading and I'm not a great mathematician, and I don't do very well on not much sleep, so working in a high-end law firm or an investment bank would have been a terrible idea for me. What I love and what I feel I'm good at, my strengths are, is listening and connecting to people, hence why I'm training to be a therapist. The third rule that all successful people abide to is there is no shortcut for hard work. A lot of CEOs really, and founders and everything like that, if you listen to this podcast, they get really annoyed when people start to ask them about like, oh, what's like a shortcut for this, or like, what's your one tip to getting rich and everything like that. There is no shortcut to hard work. It's the same as pretty much anything. Fitness is another really good example of this. You can go on all the crash diets and all the steroids or whatever you want. You have to do the hard work, otherwise it's just not going to last. There is no shortcut at all from putting in the research, putting in the time, being in the office, whatever it takes, emailing clients late at night, putting together prospects and everything like that. There is no shortcut for that. Like, there isn't a magic pill that is just you're gonna wake up one morning, you're gonna own a £200 million business. Building the YouTube channel is the same. Again, you can sort of do all the analytics and everything like that, or you can, I don't know, I wouldn't even know how to grow a YouTube channel for a shortcut. But the reality is, the only way to do it is you have to post consistently and post the best content you feel like you can. There is no shortcut to growing, building and creating something that's going to be sustainable. The final rule that all successful people go by is luck always plays a part. Even Elon Musk has said that a lot of what he has built is luck, and that is a man who works at least 80 hours a week and has one of the biggest brains on the planet. He still says it was luck. I came into the world at the right time when things were starting to shift over to electric and shift over to the internet, and especially a lot of the companies that are big now, they just got in when the internet was growing. And again, they put in the hard work. Nothing would have been there for hard work, but they were lucky that things like Amazon, e-commerce absolutely blew up just as sort of Amazon was starting to get big. Netflix started to sort of blow up just as streaming became a thing. That's why things like Blockbuster sort of disappeared. So yeah, never be too arrogant to admit that luck is involved. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. A little bit of a shorter one today. I'm absolutely sweating wearing this. I've just filmed straight from work, and you guys know I can't film at home for long because I never know who's in and who's gonna walk in, and no one knows I have this channel. So yeah, look, I thought I'd keep it brief, but this is something that I'd sort of been wanting to do for ages and working on for a little while. So if you did find any use from it, please do consider liking, subscribing, comment as always, any other advice below, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, lads.